Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do excuse the noise, I'm cutting down 4 East Indian rosewood trees. Never plant East Indian rosewood trees anywhere near a foundation, a house. So you might hear a little bit of noise in the background. Anyway, today I'm going to do a complete setup on a Guild Starfire 1 single cut. And I looked it over last night. I don't just cut off the strings and set it up the way I want. Usually I'll adjust the truss rod, I'll lower the action, because those old strings they're useful to me. They're gonna let me evaluate the guitar with strings on it. So that's a key thing. A lot of people don't do that. I notice doing setups on YouTube, they just cut the strings right off. Well, I want to play the guitar. I can lower the action, see if it buzzes somewhere, see if it frets out, see how the truss rod works, how straight the neck can go. So that's all valuable information. So anyway, before we get into this, can you do me a little favor? You're the best. So here's what I found last night playing the guitar and just fiddling around with it. Well, like the last Guild Starfire 1 I had, the neck, the truss rod works perfectly. The neck is really straight. The truss rod works great. The nut came on this particular one cut fairly well. It's got about 14 thousandths, 13 thousandths. It'll all go to 11 thousandths. Now I have the bridge as low as it can go. It's bottomed out, but it's still not low enough. What we've got here, 47 thousandths of an inch, 45 thousandths. Well, any good guitar should be like 35 thousandths of an inch. So I'm going to have to modify this bridge in order to let it lower down to the body a bit more. I mean, that's kind of annoying. What else have I found on this guitar? The tuners seem to have a little bit of play in them, which I didn't notice on my other guitar. So now that another thing too, I figured out on the 17th fret, when you bend, it'll fret out a little bit. So we've got at least one high fret. I'm sure we've got a few high frets. So the first thing I'm going to do is the nasty. I'm going to take the strings off and I'm going to tape up the fretboard. Here we go. Okay, this video could be a lot longer if I just left the camera run and did all the high frets. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to show you and explain what I do. Okay, I know there's one pretty high fret here. See that rocking? So what I do is I'll go along the entire fret and I'll rock it. Because sometimes it won't rock here, but it'll rock here. I only want to take some material off where it's rocking. So I'll use the marker and I might draw some there, but then it'll be okay there and it might be lifted a little bit here. And then I'll put dots on the masking tape, because obviously the very first couple of wipes with your 400 grit are going to knock off the marker, right? So I could take like my file and file all of them down, but I'm not going to do that. The factory already did that, and yet we have some high frets. So that's why I do one at a time. You know, if it's a really cheap piece of crap, I might, like if it's a really cheap piece of crap and I'm doing it for free or something, I'll just run it over with the big file. But on everything else, which is pretty much all the stuff I do, I want to preserve the frets as much as I can for myself or my customer. So that's why I just sand a little bit and then I check it with the rocker. And then once that's all done, I'll go through it with 400 really lightly, then 6, 8, 1,000, 15, 2,000, 2,500, then I'll polish it. So I'm going to start going over all the frets with my fret rocker, and we'll do this high speed. Okay, here's all the frets that are a little bit high. We've got that 17th fret is pretty high. And this guy's pretty high too. So now I'm going to get my sandpaper and I'm just going to sand those spots and then keep checking it, and keep checking it until all these high spots are gone. Then I will lightly dress all the frets. That's how I like to do it because I don't want to take any extra meat off. All right, so all the high spots are taken care of. So now I'm gonna, you can see there's a tiny bit of fret wear there. I'm waiting for a guitar to come. There's a tiny bit of fret wear and of course I want that gone, but I always want to take out the smallest amount possible. Okay, you mother lovers, now we polish. All right, so the frets are all polished up. We'll treat the fretboard a little bit later. And right now I'm going to deal with the bridge because we know that we want to take off, what was our measurement here? The action at the 12th fret, 47 thousandths and 45 thousandths. So we want to take off 17 thousandths maybe. We want to be able to let the action get down to 30. It doesn't need to be that low, but at least 10 or 12 thousandths off of this. So I got a little idea. Let's get to it. Okay, now I think I'm going to file the bottom sections. And when you look at this, I'll put a straight edge on it. Let me make sure you can see this. I want to make sure you can see this okay. Trying to get the light just right. I think that's good. See, now I've got my straight edge here. And so I can use the file because the round part doesn't go into this curve that much. So it's not gonna, I can just take the file and go like this and I'll be fine. And that's what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna take my micrometer and what I'm gonna do is, see how thick it is here. Okay. Let's see if it's about the same thickness on this one, which it should be. This seems a little, might be a little thicker here. Can't seem to get it back on there. Let me just open it up a little bit. And this side seems a little tight. Okay, it's going in there. Okay, so now we'll lock it. And so what I'll be able to do is, yeah, this side's a little looser. As I file it away, then I can take one of these files, then I can take one of these feeler gauges and stick it in there and then put this in and I'll know when I'm down a certain amount. Because I think I would like it to be, I'd like it to go down, let's see, 7. I like it to go to 30, so that's a lot. I don't know, 15 would be a lot to do. I would say 15 would be good, because this would end up being 32. So we'll see how it goes. Well, we've got a 14 in there, so that takes the 47 thousandths down to 33 thousandths. And I think that's probably pretty good. I don't think it needs to go down any lower than that. That's pretty low. So I'll get to doing the other side, and then we can start cleaning this up and polishing it up a little bit, and then we'll start thinking about getting some strings on it. Woohoo! Okay, I have the bridge taken care of. I took off the pick guard, which I preferred off, and it looks like there's a scratch there, which is a bummer. So what I'm going to do now is tighten everything, probably raise the pickups up, clean them, lower them back down, make sure everything's tight, all the screws are tight. And then I'm going to buff this whole guitar. I got some mild buffing compound, and I just want to clean it up with that. And then we'll start getting strings on it. Look at those frets. They are looking good. And once I put the lemon oil on there, it's going to be beauty. Let's get to it. I'm going to put the bridge together and string it up. I won't put the knobs on until it's in playing position, so because I like the knobs to be at infinity when I look down, whatever that may be. So yeah, we'll get these parts back on there. Okay, everything's cranked, and this is a tone. Let's do the volumes first. So what do we got here? It seems to say it only goes to 9. I'm just going to lightly put it on and turn it. Oh, it's already cranked. What am I doing? Turn it down all the way. And put it to 1. Then spin it, see what happens. It goes to... Volume is 10, I guess. Or I could go like this. 9. I don't know which one I want. I guess I'll just put volume on for 10. That makes sense? That's weird. Then they'll be to 1. I go like that. Yeah, that's weird. I'll just leave it. Volume will be 10. I forgot to treat the fretboard, so I'm just gonna stop right there. I'll loosen these strings. I've never done that. This is the first. I'll just loosen the strings. Darn. That was a Freudian slip. Okay. Can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did it, but I did it. So I'll just fix it. Little piece of tape so I don't scratch it up. Unbelievable. Can't believe I forgot to oil the board. Throwing the strings on prematurely. I think now we're going to have plenty of clearance. See, there's quite the gap there, and the action looks pretty low. I'm sure it's going to go lower than that. I like it to be 35 thousandths. And then I got to cut the nut, so I'm going to have to let this dry, and I'll come right back. Okay, we'll get that nut cut down to 11, and then we'll check the action, the intonation. I think that this is a little higher than 35 thousandths. So I probably should have went a little bit more, but we'll see how the neck is. I didn't want to get any nut powder on here, so I just put a piece of paper on there. So let's cut this nut and get this thing together. Oh, here's the action. And you know what? It's got to go lower. They're all the way down. So I got to take more meat off those. I've got the nut cut to about 11 thousandths, which is where I like it. You can still play slide, but it's not too low. You're taking a chance, but I find 11 is pretty good. I've had them at 8 and 9, but if you want to play slide, 11 is okay. So yeah, have to do some more grinding. Darn it. Because yeah, it'll go lower than this. I know it will go lower than that. Oh boy, okay. Well, I took this side down 15 thousandths, and this one probably 11, and it still can go down. Looks like I'm going to take it off one more time. I'm getting sick of filing this thing. Okay, now I've ground the bottom of this down another time. And I'm going to put some graphite under the string slots, and we'll tune it up and we'll see how it does. Okay, let's tune this baby to pitch. Is it still plugged in? Nope. Let's plug it in. Plug her in and tune her up and see how low we can go. So it's kind of dragging out a little bit. Oh, what happened there? think that was just around the tree, the post. Oh shoot, what am I doing? Went for the wrong one. Hang on. Give him another little stretch. That amazes me, people don't stretch their strings. Why is my Les Paul not staying tuned? So I've done this twice now. Of course, when you get to the smaller strings, don't yank as hard. All right, now I can lower the action. Let's see how low it can go. Okay, we're at 42 thousandths on the sixth string and 42 thousandths on the first. So that's a pretty decent action. I think when I change strings, I'll grind this out some more because it can go. It's all the way down on the first string, and there's a little bit of gap here on the sixth string. So I think it could go a little lower. I think it could go maybe 39 thousandths. Wow, that's only like 3 thousandths of an inch. 38 thousandths. And I got the nut cut. So let's check the intonation and then we'll pretty much be done. Cover's got to go back on. Now I set the intonation. If you're new to this channel, I usually show people how I set the intonation. It's so easy. First thing you do is you would never do it laying flat like this. You want to have it in playing position. You put the strings on it. You stretch them out like you saw me stretch them out. Perfectly in tune, right? So then after that you hit the 12th fret. But you got to get it so it's ringing right in the middle. Then you hit the... I don't know if I can do this with one finger, with only one finger here. Here, let me see if I can go like this. There, see? Now if it went sharp, then you move the saddle a little bit and try it again. Retune it and try it again. If it went flat, then the saddle goes that way too. It's really easy to remember. If it goes sharp, the saddle goes right. If it goes flat, saddle goes left. Real simple. So I don't think I'm going to do a review of this guitar because I had one before that I bought brand new and I reviewed it. It does not look so good with this bright light on it. It seems to pick up everything on it. This is my take on the guitar. The tuners don't seem they seem not quite as good as the ones on my guitar. Maybe because they've been used and that guitar was new when I bought it. But this really didn't have a lot of fret wear. It had a slight amount of fret wear, so it didn't get played all that much. This is the weakest spot on the guitar, is this bridge. Definitely. The pickups are great. All the electronics work great. The neck is really straight. The truss rod works great, just like the other guitar. But the thing that I really like about this Guild, check this out. Let me see if I can show you this. It's a semi-hollow. But you see the block in there? See, there's a bigger block. See on the top there's a bigger block. Then on the bottom, there's a smaller block. And that's it. This is really, other than that, it's totally hollow. So like a Gibson 335 or an Epiphone ES 339, they all have that block that runs through the middle. They're more solid body you know, than hollow body. But this one is, it's cool because it'll do some nice feedback at lower levels, but it's not like ridiculous at feedback like a thick Gretsch that's hollow. They can be like really, when you're using gain, they can be terrible. So yeah, this is, man, it's bringing back old memories. This, I don't know why I sold the last one, but I think I should hang on to this one because it's just a cool guitar. It looks really vintage, plays good. It's got some tall frets on it. But yeah, like if you get it, that's just, you got to get it set up. You're gonna have to get the frets dressed to look for high frets. There was a couple of pretty high frets on here. This guy here, and the 17th. And there was a few here and there, as you saw, but just about every guitar has high frets. Look at all these high frets on these guitars, you know? There's a Fender American Special, 15 high frets. That's an American guitar, too. So that is it for today. I hope you like this. If you could hit that subscribe for me, that would be cool. And the thumbs up doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, I'm like one of those small fry YouTube guys. You know, I'm not a hot looking chick, so I got to scrounge for views. So that's it for today. Take care. I will see you next time.